So, welcome to chapter 4.5, which is examples of the industries who might buy CRM from you. As I told you, this video is a bonus video for you because in this, I will explain to you how to pitch to the customer and why do they need the CRM, which we have learned in the previous video, right? So, let's start. Let us first understand how many examples we are going to see today. Firstly, manufacturing and trading, how to pitch to them and why they need CRM. These are the two topics which we will cover in this section. We will also discuss the wealth management industry. Then we will talk about the real estate industry, automobile dealers, IT dealers or system integrators, healthcare people, hospitality, retailers, government. You might be shocked to hear government, but yes, the government too needs the CRM. We will understand how. And call centers and BPOs. So we are going to cover these 10 industries. It is possible that you may have some idea about a few from these lists regarding how they need the CRM. For some other industries, you may not know that they too need the CRM. If you do not know it, this is the video for you. We will understand it thoroughly. And if you know why they need the CRM, we will also understand how to pitch for them. This video is going to be very useful. Come, let's start with our first industry, which is manufacturing and trading. Okay, let us understand how to pitch to them why they might buy the CRM from you or why do they need the CRM. So let us first discuss how to pitch to them. Now, before coming to that point, let us see how this interview will go. Suppose you have your customers in your contacts. Maybe you have met them in some community or in a party, or maybe you met them in some exhibition. Maybe you were in that part of the city and you thought of meeting them. You met over coffee. So, whenever you meet each other, some points come up where the topic is triggered. Suppose you have some customers who are into manufacturing and trading. Okay. Then, how would you pitch to them? How do you do that? You have gone to meet them. So, you can ask this, Sir, you might be receiving inquiries from various sources, right? As you have the manufacturing business or trading business, you must be receiving inquiries. So, you must be receiving them from many sources. Then the customer starts explaining how he receives them from various sources like IndiaMart or from the website. He will share from which sources he receives inquiries. As he shares this information, you can ask, you get inquiries from so many sources, are they followed up on time and in the right manner or some get missed out? He can answer in two ways. One, he says, yes, the follow up is done perfectly. So you can ask him whether he uses any tool like a CRM. Then he may say, no, we are just a team of 2 persons or 3 persons in marketing. We do not need a CRM. Here you also qualify him if you can give the CRM to him or not. In the second scenario, he says, nobody, some of the other inquiries missed out. See, in a team of 10 to 15 people, coordination becomes a bit difficult. Then you can pitch that, oh, okay, so somewhere the business is lost when you miss the inquiry. Possibly your customer got it from someone else. Immediately, the customer is struck with your words. Normally, we speak casually that some inquiry is missed. But when you say business is lost, it acts like a trigger. So you must always be ready with your punchline. After you say business is lost, you can raise one more point here. The business is lost because you cannot even keep track which salesperson is doing what. Right? Then he confesses, yes, it is true. I have no clue who is doing what, who is bringing how much business, who is working on which leads, what is the status, nothing. Then it is the right time to go ahead. So that reminds me of a famous dialogue from the film Indian, and it is my favorite too. Loha garam hai, tab hatoda maar do. Strike when the iron is hot. What I'm saying is, this is where you have opened the eyes of your customer. Now is the time to hit that, your points. Now you can tell him, do you know that similar companies, manufacturing and trading companies, grow very fast with the help of the CRM? They can track these things and the productivity of your team members increases. Apart from increase in the team productivity, you always have a track of what is happening and you can make a strategy. So you might require a CRM. Then you can give him your visiting card or explain more about the CRM. What happens here? This has two advantages. One, if he really requires it and decides for it, he's sure to come to you. The reason is you were the first one to enter the customer's mind. Okay, you were the first one to have pitched this. The second is, suppose he doesn't go for it now, but in future, whenever he thinks of it, he will make the first call to you only. You will be in the top list of his calling. Okay. I've told you how you can pitch. For which functions these businesses need the CRM? We have already talked about it, I think, in the previous video. I will still explain it here. Why do they need it? Marketing. Now, see, when they are a manufacturing company, they must market their products, right? Maybe through social media or maybe through campaigns. And they need to capture all the leads from the website, from India Mart, etc. So they definitely need the CRM for marketing purposes. Now, second is the sales. Like you had raised the point, how is the sales function going on? Or how do they track it? Is all the follow up done perfectly? Or is anything being missed out, etc.? Suppose it is a manufactured product which needs servicing after sales, then they would do the service management also. Okay. And the fourth one is field work. Why have I written field work? I've written it because most of the manufacturing companies, let me tell you this too, it will come in handy for you when you pitch. A manufacturing company may have several distributors for their products, right? The company salespersons visit these distributors to take orders. They visit weekly or monthly, or they may be visiting daily. It is possible. They need to track this also. How many places a salesperson visited, how many dealers he met, and how many inquiries he generated out of them. To do all this, they need to track the fieldwork also. The fieldwork also generated inquiries. So, this is how the processes in manufacturing are managed, how to pitch, and why do they need the CRM. I hope this is clear. Now, next time when you pitch to manufacturing or trading, prepare your pointers, headlines, and punchlines so that you can trigger it perfectly. Now, let's move to the second industry. It is wealth management, insurance or investment brokers, right? These people also need the CRM very much. I will tell you how. You may or may not have thought about it, but many times it happens that sales and service in manufacturing and trading industries are focused, but they are missed out. I'll tell you where the requirement is here. Let us understand again how to pitch to them and why they need the CRM. First, we will discuss how to pitch to them. Now, see, I will explain what happens in wealth management. In India, there are mutual funds and investments are happening very fast. People are very aware of these things, like how do I invest? Everyone wants to secure their wealth. So, what happens here? In this business, they sell more to their existing customers rather than finding new ones. I will tell you how a point can be raised. Like the meeting will be normal. And here is how you can raise the point. Okay, sir, most of your business must be coming from your existing customers, right? This will be your question to him. His answer is yes, we do get from new customers also, but we approach our existing customers more. They have different schemes. We have different schemes in mutual fund, insurance, etc. We keep trying to provide multiple products or schemes to our customers. Okay. So, how do you manage this cross selling, sir? I mean, how do you know that this customer had bought the product X so that you can pitch for this product Y to him? Like I had given him mutual fund, and so now I can approach him for equity also. How do you know this? You have the database, that is all right, but how do you filter the data? How do you search the data? Then he will start telling, no, my friend, there's no tool. And if he has one, he will tell you what they do with the help of Excel. As you raise the point, he will take more interest because you understand his business. It always happens in India when you understand the problem of the other person, he will share more of his problems to you. So please make sure that you understand his problems really well. Make sure you understand really well what he is telling you. Now, what happens? First, you triggered the question. What will be the second step? Sir, if you are not able to cross sell, that means you do not have the customer history on one page. Do you? What all the customer has bought, his portfolio. Do you get all this history on one single page? Like how many times did you connect with him? Then he will say, no, something like this. Does something like this exist? Maybe he gets this question in his head. Oh, can this be done? What do you do after that? You know it very well. I'm only giving you the pointers like how it is pitched here. The third point is you must be having new schemes every now and then. There will be new equities. How do you inform about this to your customers? Do you have some marketing tool so that the information reaches all at one time? That this is a new scheme in the market, etc. Do you do something like this? Now, again, you are talking about his business, and again, there is a trigger that he's missing out on something. And make sure that you share this example as, sir, many people in your industry do this and it has helped in their growth of their business. Then these points hit their minds and their thought process starts from there. See, in the CRM business, you have to keep patience. It does not happen that you pitch today, tomorrow you get the order. Never will this happen. In fact, the reason we are doing this right now is that when you will pitch, be sure that you will close that sale. The reason is, first, you approached him. It was you who approached him. Secondly, when you approached him, you understood his problems, right? So he's sure to call you when he has the need for the CRM. Okay. The fourth one is, okay, the fourth one can be this as well. A different topic can be raised in the flow of the conversation. He has already shared his problem in the response to your 3 questions. It can often happen that the customer has some query or question. The customer may ask you for his ledger details or may request to send him his portfolio. He may need some of the other details and he keeps requesting something. Whenever they request something, where do they manage its tracking? Suppose you are out of the office, a customer calls and requests for something. Do you remember that you need to send a certain thing to this particular customer? Some tasks are missed out on and can cause what we can call customer dissatisfaction. This is a major issue. Okay. So, after these points, the last point is, whenever a customer invests in something, they need to collect the documents. Maybe there are multiple tasks for that. That too needs some follow up. If the team size is bigger, say there is a team of 10 people, how many of them have which task? Who is completing the task? Who is missing the task? How do you keep a track of all this? Is this done perfectly? Or some things are missed out and then they have to be escalated? All these points are really their pain points and it hits the right nerve. You can remember these points this PPT shared with you. Please take down all these pointers. These will come in very handy to you in your pitch. Now let us understand why they need the CRM. The first reason is the customer database. They will manage the customer database in the CRM. Then, okay, and then campaign. You raise the points like how do you send the information of a new scheme to all your clients simultaneously? The CRM has all these solutions. All the pointers that I'm telling you, they exist in the CRM, and so his problem will be solved. Okay, so you understand his problem, all right. You should also keep in mind that you should give him the solution. Okay, then relationship based selling. As I mentioned, they will be able to sell some other schemes or products to the existing customers or to their family members or their references. Then there is the onboarding process. Remember, I mentioned the tasks. They onboard the customers, which involves collection of documents and multiple tasks. Tasks need to be tracked. And finally, there are customer queries that we talked about. If the customer has some query, a ticket is raised in the CRM, which can be easily tracked in the CRM. This is all about the wealth management business. Let us now move towards the third industry, which is real estate. So let us understand how to pitch to them and why do they need the CRM. Okay. So first we will talk about, yes, correct, how to pitch to them. Right. The first is, here the words are written broker or developer. You need to understand this first. Whenever you meet them or when they approach you, they may approach you on their own when they need the CRM. They may ask, do you have a solution for my requirement? We need to understand in the first place if he's a broker or a developer in the real estate business. Our CRM is not used much by the brokers. The reason is, okay, if you want to know the reason, you can go back to the first section of this chapter. I've explained this point in detail. Okay. So brokers use this less, but if he's a developer and a developer having more than 3 projects, then he may require the CRM. You can pitch to him properly. Okay. Now here too, the questions will be the same. Your pitch will change according to the industry. So here too, the lead source is there. You are running 3 projects or more, so you must be promoting them on online platforms like others, on 99 acres, Magic Bricks, or housing.com and more. Are you advertising there? If he answers in negative, you should say you should do that. Majority of them will say yes, we are doing it. If it is done, it takes a lot of time to follow up and close. Obviously, because even when we want to buy a house, we don't just go and buy them immediately, right? We take time, we visit, we deliberate, we understand the pricing. It needs a huge follow up. So you get the inquiries. Is the follow up of all of them done perfectly? It must be taking a lot of follow up. He will start telling the problem. Yes, my friend. And sometimes we miss to follow up. Now it will be one of the two things. Now it will be one of two things. One is he's really having some problem, or he has some solution. So he will answer either way. If he tells you the problems, then you start triggering. As we learned earlier, strike it hard when it is still hot. There will be a lot of follow up required to close one deal. Out of our 3 schemes, sir, how many flats are booked now? How many are sold? How many are in stock? Do you get this information? He may say, yes, I do get it, but to get it, I have to log in the ERP and then see. Okay, here also you can trigger a point, and all the points I mentioned here are available in the CRM. And as you are our partner, you must be knowing it. If you don't know, don't worry, you can connect with us at any time. We'll explain it to you in detail. This is done. We have learned what points can be raised while pitching. Now, why do they need the CRM? To capture the leads? 99 acres and other platforms we talked about. How will the leads come? How will the follow up happen? You receive an email. You may see the email, you may miss it. Better to capture the leads directly in the CRM. You can see them there and you can start the follow up. Second is strong follow up. As I said, you got the lead all right, but it needs strong follow up. This is one reason. Okay. And the third reason is marketing campaign. Marketing campaigns are something everybody needs these days. The reason is I'm on a certain project. I need to send the information and I do have the database because I keep on getting inquiries all the time. Some customers buy, some don't. Now, the customers who do not buy, we offer something else to them. Some new project is launched. So we have marketing campaigns, WhatsApp campaigns, email campaigns, SMS campaigns. And the fourth one is the inventory of the projects. Like I mentioned, how many flats are booked, how many are pending, how many are sold out. Everything is tracked properly. And which salesperson is following up which lead is also traceable. Thus, we have understood about the real estate business. Now, let us move ahead to another industry, which is automobile dealer. So, let's understand the same thing, same process. Here, before going to the pitching process, I want to tell you why they need the CRM. Their process is a little different from other businesses. There won't be much of sales score, but the service reminder calls and PSF will be more. PSFCs are post sales feedback calls. I'll explain it to you in detail. Then we'll talk about how to pitch them. Okay. First of all, let's talk about their business. Why do they need the CRM? They have the customer data and the leads of walk in customers. They need to follow up with them. What happened to them after the follow up? What is the status? Is it converted or not converted? And all that which happens in every sale. Now, second is, as I said, walk in from exhibition or from any other source. They follow up the inquiries received. Now, we will talk about insurance. Now, here, sales is in two ways. One is to sell insurance and the other is to remind the customer when the insurance expires. Both these things can be done and we will talk about it in detail. And finally, there is service. There are two things. One is service reminder calls and the other is post-service feedback calls. Let us first talk about service calls and then we will talk about post-service feedback calls. What comprises service reminder calls? They have the customer database in their DMS. They have the data management system. It may have been given by their OEM or they have it. And they have their customers' data in it. All the related information is stored there. When the sale is done or service, there are some criteria like a free service after 2000 kilometers or a free service within the first 3 months, something like that. So they need some kind of reminder that 3 months are over or 2000 kilometers may be over, something like that as per the system. Where would you get it? It is not in their system. So they need the CRM from where they can remind. Where will the CRM data come from? There are two ways. One, to integrate the DMS, where you can capture the database into the CRM, or export from the DMS in Excel and import the data in the CRM. This is the second method. And the third way is enter the data in the CRM at the time of the sale itself. Then the CRM will generate a reminder on its own. Maybe the reminder details were fed in, the CRM will generate a reminder on its own. So they need it for this. Second is, I've covered all these points except export the data from the DMS, assign it to the agent. Yes, now the data is here in the CRM from any method. Data of service reminders is here. Now it needs to be assigned to an agent for calling. They need to do the service reminder calls. Then the agent will start calling, enter its disposition. whether he picked up the call, if he did, what time he promised, what appointment is booked for the servicing, etc. That way. Now let us understand post service feedback. Till now, we were talking about service reminder calls. Someone books the appointment, comes for the servicing. After the servicing, a call is made to check if the customer is happy with the service or not. That data should also be there in the CRM. Many times the customer does not answer the call. Suppose we call him, but he does not pick up. So there is a gap. The next follow up date has to be entered when the next call has to be made. When we talk about all this process, they require the CRM. What happens in the post feedback service? You make a call to take the feedback, enter the feedback. The customer's remarks, feedback is entered in the CRM. If there's some escalation because the customer was unhappy about something, it can be escalated to the manager and then generate the reports. You'll get all the reports. How many feedbacks were taken, what were the remarks, how many customers were contacted, how many feedbacks are pending, and whatever data is available in the CRM. About the service reminder calls and post service feedback, you must have understood that for automobile dealers, it is very necessary. Sales is also there, but it is taken care of. Some people do manage sales also, but the major parts are insurance reminders to remind them about expiring insurance and selling it. And the second is SMR calling, service reminder calling. And the third is post service feedback. They will need the CRM for these three things. Okay, now we will understand how to pitch to them. See, the process is clear to you of the sales and service. What will be required and how, that I just explained. If it is not clear, please go back and watch the video again, then you will understand. Okay? So, how is the pitch made? When you meet them, it is like, sir, the complaints that you receive from the customers, there is some problem with the bike, service was not good, etc. How do you track them? Who takes care of it? And how do you know whether it was resolved? Majority of the customers who do not use the CRM will tell their problems to you. They will express it all. Oh, my friend, we don't know. We have to listen to a lot of music from the customer. They call us names. He'll tell you all this. Now you also ask them, oh, yeah, right. You really do not know which customer is happy and which one is dissatisfied. You don't get that information. He will say, yes, I don't get it. You're right. Then, are there any calls, feedback calls from your end or not? To get this information, feedback calls are necessary. He confesses, no, dear, no one makes the feedback calls. The data is there, all right. If the customer doesn't pick up in the first go, it's gone. Whatever it is, he'll tell you. Then, how do you send reminders for insurance renewals to customers and internal? What is it about customers and internal? Here we can raise a point that the insurance you give along with the vehicle, when it expires, does a reminder call go to the customer that this renewal is going to be due in so much time? Or does your internal member know that insurance of this vehicle is expiring and we need to call the customer for renewal? No, right? Then you need the CRM. And the other industries also have the CRM and manage it in this way only. Always give them the example of their industries. So we have covered this now. Let us move to the next industry, which is IT dealers and system integrators. As we are also from the IT industry, I'm more happy to talk about this. So let's understand how to pitch to them and why they need the CRM. Talking about how to pitch to them. See, for both the IT hardware and system integrators, for marketing, sales, and service, the CRM is a must. I have discussed all the questions about marketing, sales, and service, how it can be pitched. Just tweak it according to the industry. Now we will talk about this. How can you pitch for the service? Marketing and sales must be clear to you by now, as I've explained a lot. Sir, you sell this IT product. This I'm telling you how to do it, how to start. Okay. Sir, you sell this IT product. You do the system integration. So obviously, if the customer faces any problem, he must be coming to you only, right? He'll say, yes, he comes to me only. So you must be doing their AMC. He'll answer, yes, we do take the AMC. When you take the AMC, does the renewal process go well? Because after all, it's business. If the renewal is missed or delayed, it affects the business. Is the follow up done perfectly? No, friend. For renewal, we call the customer. They call it on the date of the renewal. He dilly-dallies for 20 days, then pays after 20 days. Later, such cases give a lot of problem. See, now is the time you can talk about the CRM. Then you can say, do you know, sir, in your industry, this process is managed with the help of CRM. All other industries do that. He'll ask, how? As you enter the sales data in the system and he enters into the EMC with you, you enter the contract in the CRM. You put the start date, end date in the CRM. The system automatically reminds you 15 days prior to the close date that the renewal is due. An email and SMS is also sent directly to the customer that the AMC is about to expire. Now he will start calling 10-15 days prior. In fact, apart from the reminder generated on the dashboard, a feedback ticket is also generated 15 days prior to that. This means 30 days prior to the renewal date, a ticket will be generated where your service person will call if everything was going well, if there was any problem, and ask. Logically, why does he delay in making the payment is we only call when the renewal is due, or when he calls with a problem, we give support. But we call on our own 30 days prior to the renewal to ask if everything was going well. Renewal will not have a problem. Okay? So a feedback ticket is generated, one problem solved. Second, an opportunity is created on the dashboard to follow up 15 days prior. So both the issues are solved. You have taken the feedback of the customer ahead of the renewal date and also started the follow up 15 days prior for renewal. This will result in the timely renewal of the contracts. Thus, your problems will be solved with the automation of the CRM. Then you can ask the second question also. Okay, this is sorted. But, sir, there are these breakdown calls. Customers call to report something was not working out or the product has some problem. So, how do you manage the complaints in time? Are they solved in time or is there any problem? Or you just don't know who's working on which complaint? How do you track? Even if you just ask, how do you manage it? All are solved in time, aren't they? He will start telling you all the things. The reason is when we talk about the other person's problems, as I mentioned earlier, he will happily pour it out. Okay. Now, suppose he tells you that they are not solved in time. Whenever a customer calls, he gets very angry. Oh, sir, don't you have any escalation process? That it is automatically escalated when it is not solved. The CRM can automate even this. If a complaint is not solved in time, it gets escalated to the manager. Here you understand his problem and give him a solution as well. And then finally, product warranty details or how much time is spent in installation in the project, which tasks are taken by whom in the installation, who's doing what, and when, and all the stuff is easily managed in the CRM. So these are all your pointers. You can make your pitch for this industry. Okay. There is one more. First, let us understand why they need the CRM, lead management, AMC, or complaint management. Okay, from the customers that we discussed about the renewal, AMC, or customer complaints to manage all that. The third is to manage product warranties. The fourth is field visits. Why field visits is included here? Because some problems can be solved remotely. Some products would need site visit. And who will make the visits? A service engineer. You need to keep track of the service engineer. How many visits done today? How many tickets solved? For this, majority people want this. Okay. Now let's move to the next industry, which is healthcare. Okay. And here we will discuss why they need the CRM. Here I will not touch upon how to pitch because the questions are very clear. They're mostly related to sales and service. You just have to tweak it as per the industry. Now, why do the healthcare people need the CRM? We are not talking about small hospitals here. We are not talking about the small clinics here. We are talking about the big boys, big hospitals having a chain of hospitals. Okay. There they need the CRM. And why do they need it? Obviously, to generate leads. What happens is that they have data, they get patients. Some reminders have to be sent to these patients related to their health or to inform them about some campaigns. Okay, one is about campaigns. They also get inquiries from their websites. So their appointments have to be booked. If someone posts through the website, if he wants to come, so the website can be integrated with the CRM. When someone fills the form, the data is captured automatically in the CRM. Someone can call the patient and ask the convenient time for an appointment and then book the appointment in the CRM. We get the reminder for that as well. There is integration with HIS, that is hospital management software, can be integrated with the CRM. We have already done it for quite a few customers. They have the data in the HIS, that is the hospital software. From there, we can integrate to the CRM to pull the data for campaigns, etc. Okay. Or for existing patients, fetch the data for booking appointments. We can do all these things easily. Now, let us move to the next industry, which is hospitality. Here also, if I have to say, why do they need the CRM? You already have the idea of how to pitch. Talking about why do they need the CRM, let us first understand whom to approach. We are not talking about small restaurants or hotels. We are again talking about multiple chain establishments, big boys. Okay? We can pitch for big chain hotels or chain restaurants as they do need the CRM, right? So now why they need it? Obviously to manage leads. Leads are when they get enquiries to book. Suppose it's a chain, so they get bookings from the website that I'm coming to Silvassa or Vapi and I want to stay there or whatever it is. The second is now that they've booked, it also needs the follow up. Like you have booked but not reported yet. Or when are you reaching? So follow up. And the third is capture the leads. Okay. Like we just saw, leads will be there, maybe through calls or through reference, or someone just walks in and books. So many times they advertise on social media or website. Leads have to be captured from there. Okay. So these are the 3 points. And finally, they have all the database. Suppose you want to offer some deals to them. For example, visit our restaurant today, we have this discount today, or this offer, or whatever the deal. Ultimately, it's marketing, sales, service, nothing beyond that. This is all when they want to book and manage the things. Now, let us move to the next industry, that is retailer. And talking of retailers, we are not talking about small retailers. If you want to know which type of retailers, we have made a separate video in the first section. You can refer to that. We are not talking about a small retailer with a standalone store. We are talking about multiple stores or a big store like an Apple iStore with multiple branches. They will take the CRM. And why do they need the CRM? Having multiple branches, they need to know which branch is bringing how much sales, how many and where from the leads are getting generated. They want to see all these things. And for high tickets, suppose we receive a complaint from any customer for any product. When we give them the service, suppose we give him a standby product, that also needs to be managed, right? This is because when there is some problem in a product, in a mobile phone, as we have taken the example of Apple Store, let us say it is a mobile phone. When there is a problem, if the device is under warranty, he will hand over the set to you. If you can solve it, you will solve. If not, you will send it to the company. During this time, you may have to give the standby product to the customer. To manage that, which standby product was given, then to take the follow up from the service center as well. The CRM works in such cases too. Okay. And the third one is the customer database for marketing. Marketing will be here. There is a new iPhone launched by the company. There are Diwali offers. So these people also do marketing to their database and for generating leads to follow up the leads generated from the marketing. So now let's move to the next industry, which is government. Now, why does the government need the CRM? There is nothing much to learn. Let me explain in brief. It's very simple. So, why does the government need the CRM? For complaint management, service desk, grievance cell. Everyone has a different terminology for these three, but the basics are the same. That is, complaint management and help desk are one and the same. So, there are so many projects of the government. There are e commerce platforms where people register for tenders or something like that. If someone encounters a problem there, like the registration cannot be completed or they're facing some other problem, then who will they complain to? So the government appoints a team to resolve the complaints where they handle the complaints of the customers. Now, the first thing is that the team will receive a complaint. And how will they receive it? Any complaint would be posted on the website by the visitor or the customer. He fills up the form about the problem on the on the government's e-commerce platform or wherever, as an example. Now, whatever complaint he is registering will be fetched in the CRM through integration. Now, the support team can see the complaint. The support team will work towards solving the complaint. After working on it, maybe the complaint is solved in 1 day or maybe in 3 days, so they will follow up on that. For all these things, and when it is the government, they need to be very strict. The things have to be sorted within time. Okay. For these reasons, they need the CRM. Not for the sale, I don't think it is possible, but for service, for complaints, they need the CRM more. And we do have customers who use it for the government. Now, coming to the last and final industry for today, which is call center and BPO. Obviously, you must be aware what a call center or a BPO is. What is a call center or a BPO? A company hires a third party or a BPO where there are many agents. They hire for two things, either to generate the leads, like if the company gives them the database, they will call them and generate lead. This is one. Or to provide support for the customer. It hires a third party or a call center or a BPO. Okay. So for this, they definitely need the CRM. There is a reason for this. In fact, they need telephony plus CRM. Let us understand why they need telephony plus CRM. Firstly, they need the recording of the calls, what was spoken in the call, to keep track. Secondly, they also undertake calling campaigns. Suppose there's an agent called Lawrence and he has to make 100 calls today. The campaign is generated with progressive dialing. He begins with the headphones and a laptop. The calls will automatically appear on the screen. He talks to the customers, updates on the screen, next call will appear. This is how telephony works. So it goes with the CRM for the call center for sure. Only then it is a complete solution for the call center. CRM plus telephony. Now here they track the productivity. What happened? Who made how many calls during the day? How many conversions were made by an agent for the EM company? Or how many tickets were closed today? They need to keep track of all these points. And so they need the telephony plus CRM. It is simple to pitch to these people. So you can ask them, how do you manage? How do you report to your OEM about the day's work or the leads that you worked on? What is the status of the given database? How do you do it? So these are similar questions as for the earlier industries. Now you can change and tweak as per your understanding and pitch them. Okay, so the CRM is needed for these functions. Our next chapter will be generating leads. It is very important for all of you how to generate leads. In fact, Limesh ji will also tell you about some tools which will be useful to generate leads. So please make sure you watch that chapter after this and see you there. Thank you.